really don't get days like that. So I think a lot of problems with us these days is, especially I know for myself, when you get into that work mode and you just keep on going and don't even find the time to get yourself some rest or a chance to just wind down, and even if it's just doing something that you just want to do because you just want to do it for no reason at all, instead of saying, I just gotta get myself to a medium so I can get myself back up and go to work, is really crazy things.
Yeah, I mean, the whole work week goes by so fast, but the weekends that I'm off, because I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's not enough. Like,
No.
I went in this week on Friday, and it went by even fast. Like, it went by even more fast. Like, I'm always tired, no matter how much I sleep or get a nap in. And then when I wake up, I don't feel like I got enough sleep. I can sleep for 8-9 hours.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I still feel like shit, man. But that's
I think I would say for me, or as I've been talking with my therapist about, my life and everything that I'm going through, he kind of agreed. He's like, yeah, trying to get some rest is nice, but you probably just need to straight up, flat out go on a vacation. Just take a couple days and do absolutely nothing or everything in which you want to, and try to get yourself rested and get yourself to some sort of common medium. So no, man, I get it.
I think my issue is more that I'm more unhealthy than a motherfucker. I am more unhealthy than I've ever been in my life. Like, I'm so unhealthy. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing, I can't eat the way I was eating when I was 20. And certain shit affects me. Like, I can't drink coffee no more. Like, I grew up since a baby. My mother was giving me coffee since a fucking baby. I've always been on coffee. But now if I drink coffee, I feel like I'm about to fucking die. My heart is about to pump out my chest. I feel like I'm about to pop out of my skin. I just fucking hate that feeling. And they talk about you got to go to decaf. I'm like, dude, I'm only 30 fucking 5.
With my little crazy weight loss journey and everything, from how I came, I was about 35 or 36 when I started getting to the realization I can't eat like I used to. I mean, there were, those days in which I could, buy a pack of Oreos and eat the entire dang on pack with the, 32 ounces of milk because I just wanted to do it. And getting, I guess, to the realization that, well, for myself, you're getting older. And like I said, I was going through all of my health issues and whatnot and trying to redefine how it is for me to sit down and enjoy a meal or something and not have to worry about dying because I'm making that choice. And finding those things too. But no, I think with a lot of us, just diet is a really important thing.
It is. It's the most hardest thing too, especially when you live so fucking poorly like I do. Like, I went from, I lost a lot of weight when I was in jail, and I dropped like 110 pounds when I was in jail. But that was because I had nothing else to do but work out. And when I was working out, I didn't know I was working out because I was just trying to pass the time. So I was just playing ball and, doing little push-ups and little, I bet you a soup you can't do 50 push-ups type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you only eating two meals a day. It did me wonder. I know what it takes to lose weight. My wife has watched me lose weight in front of her with no issue. It's just that I have a very, 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 I'm very weak for chocolate. Like, I would eat like 3 packs of Reese's and like fucking some Oreos.
You ever had those
a piece
Kinder
of chocolate
Buenos?
cake. What?
You ever had those Kinder Buenos? The little Kinder candies they got. Those are my weakness now.
Man,
They're
it
light. They
sucks,
got
man.
like, but I mean, yeah, and it's trying to find common mediums and all that stuff because I know me. I like my sweet tooth and stuff like that too. But oh man, listen,
And I
trying
blame
to
it on
find.
the fact that I grew up poor. So now I can go into a store and buy whatever I want. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to just be like, yo, I'm going to buy a $15 meal that's going to fucking suck ass. No, I want that shit to be like, yo, this shit is so fire.
Yeah.
Or to be like, yo, I actually had this. And the shit that they put in the food, it makes you feel the way you feel. Like I feel the way I feel because of certain foods. How I know? Because when I eat these foods, like I'm Puerto Rican, so pork shoulder is like a
Oh,
big thing. Pork shoulder and
I like
rice.
pork shoulder.
Yeah, penne and rice is a big thing. I noticed after like maybe like 27, 28, when I ate, pork like that, I did
Mm-hmm.
not feel good the next day. I felt
Yeah.
real sluggish. I felt real fucking like my stomach wasn't right. I was having certain sweats. And now it's definitely like, but I still, even my wife, she'll be like, I know this is gonna be bad for me, but fuck it, I'm just gonna risk it because whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no willpower.
I've discovered mine all too well. I mean, like for me, I'm starting to get to a point where I can start to eat what I want, but I get to a point where, like you're saying, like you in jail making yourself, you're forced to eat twice a day. I make myself eat twice a day now.
Mm,
Um, and then I do a lot of walking and hiking and stuff like that now, and it seems that all of it together seems to do a balance out. But as I started like getting into hiking over the last year, I started to realize how sick my body was just sitting outside for a half an hour in the middle of the woods. And as the year progressed, as the season went along, and the more I stayed outside, I mean, it sucks now because I'm indoors this winter and I can't go out into a park to go and sit in the middle of the woods right now. But I started to realize over the past, couple months since winter's been going along, how sick my body is just being inside of the house and how well I felt when I was outside of it.
yeah.
And I think when all that stuff balances out, it kind of helps. So maybe getting outside and taking a walk around the block a couple of times might help to stimulate some things.
Yeah, I gotta take my dogs. I gotta start walking my dogs around the block, taking them to the park. Because like you said, I'm so used to this air in my house. I only go to two places. I'm always either in three places: my house, my job, or my car.
Yeah,
I spend the most, those are the three most, you know what I mean? I'm spending
yeah,
at least an hour and a half every day in my car just driving. At least
yeah.
an hour and a half every day. And then I'm 11 hours at my job. I'm 8 hours at home. And yeah, it
The in
sucks, man.
between time, all in your car and all that stuff. I I'm starting to be a big firm believer that people just need to get out and just be out.
Yeah.
Just go and take a walk or get yourself out of your familiar surroundings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it does have its benefits, and I'm starting to see those for myself. So no, I can't wait for this weather to actually break so that I can get myself back out and hiking.
Yeah. Um, let's break down Raw, man. We're gonna skip the Cena real quick because we went over
Let's,
that
let's
kind of
skip.
yesterday. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and skip that.
Let's talk about the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair signing, bro.
All
This
right.
was childish.
Okay, so when you say you can just anticipate something just by looking at it,
Yeah.
and how that contract signings look like, oh, we're just going to do this straight down the middle, no altercations, as fast as possible, and get everybody out of the ring. And so when Rhea came for me, I'm like, I knew that was going to happen. shocked me that she signed her name onto the contract itself. Um, and that power bomb, she did with the both of them. I was there for that one.
All right, so her sign just coming in. We all know that the triple threat was coming in. I think they were trying to think of a creative way, and Rhea bullying her way into it. It just looked childish. All right, first of all,
I agree.
when Rhea came in and she's like, Rhea just looks out of place. We know that we want her in this fucking title match. But she looks out of place. Like, you look like you're just freestyling. You're trying to write yourself in this part. Like, you're trying the hardest. Like, it doesn't feel not. It feels like they're forcing this on us. So with her coming on and writing her name on the contract and on a WrestleMania contract at that, and for them to make that official, I mean, it just. I'm not.
So, do you think it's just going to be the processing that they did this of the popularity? We're going to have to redo the contract signing to have all three of you in the ring at the same time and sign the contract officially.
I don't know, man. I just think that they were never even supposed to take this title off of Rhea. So them trying to mix this trio into WrestleMania. They should have just did Bianca versus fucking Belair, Bianca versus Rhea,
and just called it quits.
And just called it like that, and then had like EO like cost Rhea or some shit, and then they could have did this shit SummerSlam.
Or even Backlash.
Backlash, something. But this is not it, bro. Like, I didn't like it. Like, even when it was going on live, I was asking my wife, like, what the fuck is she doing? It makes no sense. It feels forced. And I love Mommy, but I do not like this at all, bro. The whole disturbing the contract signing.
I find it to be an utter annoyance myself. So I agree.
I love Mommy, just not this way. You know what I mean? Either cost EO the title at Mania, or or something, and let it spill over. But you forcing yourself into this just ain't it, man. So I'm gonna give it a nay on my part. So yeah,
I said I would give it a nay on mine. I'm gonna hold my opinion on Seth Rollins when we get to SmackDown.
Okay, yeah. We still on Raw. So on Raw, there was a big botch. A big botch.
Can we talk about that? Can we just, other than the botch, can we talk about the match in general?
Yeah, we could talk about the match, of course.
I mean, so Jey Uso, Austin Theory. I don't even think that match was more than 3 minutes long.
Right.
And even before that, the botch. No, just the way that match was in general. I mean, even that spear didn't look right.
This is not it. He's not that guy, bro. He's just not that guy.
And so, I mean, with the fact, WrestleMania now, 4 weeks away? And when I look at Jey Uso, I'm starting to look at this whole, like, when they did it with Daniel Bryan, because the WWE Universe just needed him in the WrestleMania main event so that he can go and fight for the championship. And then they gave him the wheels to the company, even if they thought he wasn't ready. Same thing with Kofi Kingston. Do you think they are going to try to do that again with Jey Uso?
I hope not. I hope the fuck not. Here's why. Because Daniel Bryan, he was actually a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
He was a really, really good wrestler. And Kofi, the story of a black champion, he wasn't really supposed to be there, but out of all people, who, he was there 11 years at the time. He deserved it. Blah, blah, blah. And Kofi was entertaining. Like Jay is entertaining for a mid Carter, intercontinental at best, like tag team for sure, world champion.
It's going to be an interesting casing because I'm still tossed in the actual air on what I feel about that match in general. Um, because even looking at the Gunter side of this, I,
Gunter.
I'm I like seeing Gunter as a champion, but Gunter doing what he's doing as champion, uh, do you think it's starting to diminish who he is? Because in certain cases, I think it is.
Okay, so I think Gunther is a great champion. I think either you like him or you don't.
Right.
I think his Intercontinental Championship
I
that
loved it.
was yeah, that was epic. I don't think you could ever duplicate that. I don't think you could
No.
ever I don't think you could ever redo that one because it was so good.
Right.
This run, I've seen cracks in Gunther's character. I don't think he's consistent enough for me for world champion. But if
Mm-hmm.
you asked me who looks better with that belt and who represents that belt better than him or a Jey Uso, it's
It's
gonna be
Gunter all the
it's
way.
Gunther all day. Gunther's a great champion to a certain audience, and that is to a level it's good because you want that heat on him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He, is he really holding up to that standard because he was such a great intercontinental champion? But he really is a good champion. He's a good old school field champion, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, yeah. I mean, I think he does, just not to everybody's standards. Maybe not to these new dudes' standards because he doesn't do fucking Canadian destroyers and moonsaults every fucking.
No, no, I saw Gunter take that Spanish fly on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. And that to me, I'm like, the athleticism in order to even be able to do it, let alone be the one to receive that thing. Now, Gunter is something else.
I think he's just too much for Jay. If they've been really fucking up these like record breaking,
I agree. And I
yeah, on
think they're going
WrestleMania.
too much.
Yeah, they
I
like they like to go big on WrestleMania, like Goliath, David versus Goliath story type shit, like
mhm.
defeating the all odds and doing that shit and making the impossible possible. Like they fucked up with the Usos tag team title run. They weren't supposed to give that to Kevin and Sammy.
Sammy
They fucked up giving Sammy the Intercontinental Champion against Gunther,
Gunter.
and I think this would be stupid to give Gunther to Jay. But
Well, I mean, underneath controversy, they did give Brock the streak.
well, here's the thing about WWE. See, here's where it's like back in the days they used to be like anything can happen in WWE. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the story now. Like if it makes money, it's gonna make sense in WWE. If it can get a couple $100,000 out of the fans,
Mm-hmm.
WWE is gonna bleed that shit until they can. This Yeet shit, this Yeet was out in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeet was out when fucking Vine was out. Like, but this
Yeah.
dude has made it so relevant and so hot. And
Yeah. They couldn't ignore it.
yeah, like WWE is a business and a sport, so they go by stats. So if you're selling this amount of merchandise and you are moving the needles on views and your YouTube clips are up there, you're gonna get a push.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a made guy. Maybe if you're maybe like a new dude and you're getting a push and they didn't want you to get a push, but Jay's family to the WWE. So this is why
Mm-hmm.
he's in this position. Now, here's why it's a difference between the fucking the Usos and the whole Hawaii family and all of these motherfuckers and everybody else, because you had the dude from Hit Row, I forgot his fucking Top
Top
Dollar.
Dollar.
Yeah, Top Dollar. You had him do the exact same botch.
Oh, I've been reading the reports all week on that nobody's really happy that Jey Uso did that anyway. So I don't know what the repercussions are going to be, after everything is said and done from this. So,
but what I'm saying is that cost Top Dollar his job. I'm not gonna go as far as say that Jay is gonna get fired, but you on the road to WrestleMania making this type of botch. Come, it's the same exact fuck up, the same way he fell, the same way he hit his head on the ropes, everything. And then he even apologized, like, I'm good. And then he goes and makes a tweet of, oh, players fuck up, but watch, I'm gonna hit it again. But what if you don't now? Because now I was a Jay believer. Like I said, I was in Detroit yeeting when he was brought back by Cody Rhodes. Me and my wife was in the stands that day. So I've been with the yeet movement since day one, literally. I just don't see it, man. I'm sorry.
So this also, I mean, talking about all of this, it all seems like it's going to end up becoming the same thing we're going to be saying for the next few weeks. Do you personally think how many weeks we are to WrestleMania is going to weaken some of these points in some of these matches?
No, they're going to heighten them. I believe.
And the reason I'm asking that is going to be it kind of goes into this Jey Uso thing, because we've been looking at this for how many weeks now? What, 3?
Yeah,
3 weeks since Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
and it's another month before WrestleMania. So now we gonna have a whole nother 4. At least Raw.
4 to 7 episodes with Jey Uso, like,
and it's going to be, all of that time in between now and April. We're going to say that this is going to be a Saturday night match.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go on a limb and say that this is going to be a Saturday night match. And where it's going Saturday night is going to be the more interesting questions as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania. But all of that time in which he's already done a botch, and we got all of this TV appearances and all of this stuff we got to do before WrestleMania. Is stock going to go down because of all of this exposure before the main event?
I think how they're setting it up, it's going to be years of storylines. Years. I'm talking about years.
Yeah.
I think this is building a lot of dudes. And
well, I was talking about more specifically this Jey Uso issue, because as far as the long run, I'll talk about that with CM Punk.
The long run with Jay, man. I guess he gotta win. He gotta win on WrestleMania, but I don't know. I'm not into this one, bro. I'm really not into this. And Gunther's my favorite wrestler of the WWE.
I'm looking at, that's what I've been looking at when it comes to Jay, is talking about this long run picture. Does everything that's happening now really go to affect him in the long run? Because looking at Raw and SmackDown this week, I looked at Jimmy more than I looked at Jay this week.
Yeah, Jimmy's on a come up. Jimbo's on a come up.
And I've been thinking about this all this time between WrestleMania and when the Elimination Chamber was, and you put a multitude of people in Jay's position, and this would be something that would keep on rising them up, and everybody start to get behind them and raise them up and say, "Oh my God, this guy needs a championship." Because I was the one that was saying Daniel Bryan just needed that chance when he got it.
Yeah.
And things like that. And, the buildup that went to WrestleMania for that was an extensive one. And it just seemed to work. And I'm wondering if they were trying that same recipe with Jey Uso and thinking that all of this long time in which to keep on building this up will make it more and more and more overwhelming to say that he just has nothing to do but win this title. But now it's, all of this time, and you're starting to see the cracks of him and the flaws of him and the fact that it seems like he might not be able to do this. And now it's starting to visibly be seen. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen when WrestleMania and the bell rings.
Yeah, he's definitely mid-card Uso to me, man. Main event, Jey Uso is not. It's a
main
title.
Event just yet.
Yeah, it's a title. I don't think he is main event level. Like with his brother, yes. But Jay doesn't do it for me. I mean, you could call me a hater because I support Jay. I have no choice. I am my wife is a big Uso fan. I've spent money going to see Jay. But he doesn't do it for me, bro. He didn't do a good job with him and his brother at the WrestleMania. That match sucked ass. No, it was at the at the WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, it was trash, bro. Trash. So, I mean, but if you are in that family, if you are related to The Rock, you're going to get a push. Look at Naomi. Look at Nia Jax. Look at Jimmy. Look at Jay. Look at Roman. Look at Jacob. Look at Solo. Everybody's going to get a push. Everybody's going to eat, B. And if they make Jay the champion, he is going to be a transitional champion. He's going to drop.
I would agree with that one.
Yeah. So,
which goes into, I guess, the next point we need to steer into, and that's this CM Punk Seth Rollins Roman Reigns thing,
bro.
And I'm going to be the first one to just openly admit that what I saw on Friday was nothing but pure magic. I absolutely, positively loved that entire section because when CM Punk said what he said, it actually made me go back and look at a few matches just to see if he was telling the actual truth.
CM Punk don't lie.
And neither one of them have ever beat him one-on-one.
Nope.
And I didn't even think about that one until after he said it, because I'm like, I had to go back to Raw, Raw 1000, where CM Punk won.
Yeah, he went like that far? Shit.
Yeah. Well, not Raw, Raw New Year's Day, Raw 1, the new one on Netflix. When they
okay, got you.
And the fact that when CM Punk and Roman Reigns fought, Seth Rollins did get involved in their match. Yeah, I had to go back. I had to go back a little bit.
Listen, the thing about Triple H is that he has a bunch of talented fucking writers that you have to watch what they say 2 years ago. And it's gonna bleed into today. Like it's going something that is so little. They take the littlest details and they bring it back to you to be like, holy shit.
Exactly. So, and the way that they're going about this, as a fan of wrestling, I like it. But now we have another month until WrestleMania. So how does this go to progress now? Because I can just see them beating the hell out of each other every Raw and every SmackDown until they get into the center of the ring and somebody has to pin somebody for the next 4 weeks.
I think, just hear me out, and it just hit me right now. The Rock did this. 1, 2, 3, right? The three. What
Mhm.
happens if the three is CM Punk?
I
John
wouldn't.
Cena,
Yeah.
CM Punk, The Rock, Paul Heyman, and then Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins has to come together and bring the Shield together. And of course, they won't bring the Shield. But what happens if they get little baby brother Uso, Jay Uso? It's just so many ways you could like fucking flip this shit.
There's
Paul
there.
Heyman is gonna.
There's gonna be some really interesting twists and developments that comes out of this because just seeing the pure hatred between all three of these guys, because like I said, that we were talking about the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair thing and the fact that they did that fight and all of those people just standing there watching them fight and all these grown men that couldn't stop them last week. And they got this week, you got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and CM Punk just beating the tar out of each other. It wasn't never a 2-on-1 that two of them was beating on one of them, and they all just started to wail on each other. To me, was a breath of fresh air in seeing a segment like that this week for me. Or at least I call it a decent change from the things we've been seeing.
I feel like I've seen this before so many times. Like I feel like Punk did it with Seth, and they just did it the other day with the girls with
I mean,
Tiffany
they
and
just did it earlier that night with Drew and Damian
yeah, like
Priest.
I'm just kind of like, bro, like can we figure something else out? Can we go back to the days where dudes used to meet up at the crib and do something crazy or like yo, you know what I mean? Something else, man. I'm tired of security trying to break shit up. I'm
Yeah,
tired of I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the pointing at the sign and the whole you think it's done and they knocking out police officers and nobody's getting arrested. Nobody's doing like, come on. Like, how is three wrestlers taking out a whole fucking city of Townsville? Like, this is
yeah.
crazy, bro.
I mean, I didn't secure the security thing. Like I said, I still think the security thing should actually go.
It should
I mean,
stop.
I used to like the days when the entire locker room had to come out in order to sit down and get between all of them because they were the only ones that were strong enough to do so. I do miss those days.
They're playing out the security angle. They played the fuck out of the black hoodie angle. Like, who is that? Who can that possibly be in the black hoodie out the
Hmm.
crowd?
Yeah,
I'm just tired of it, bro. Like, they need new angles. Like, I love WWE, and this is, we're here talking about WWE. But some of these things, like, I love that they could bring it back and we can, reminisce on certain times and shit. But,
hmm,
bro, I'm not. I don't know. It's kind of like deja vu type shit.
it becomes
And
redundant after a while.
yeah, it is. But like I'm invested into certain things because you fantasy book. Like what's gonna happen with Paul Heyman and CM Punk and Roman Reigns?
I
Uh is
ooh,
Dean Ambrose gonna come back for eventually
I've
like
been going. I'm trying to. I was trying to sit down, and I'm glad that CM Punk mentioned over, on Friday, that that favor is still in the air.
right.
A lot of people saying people thought that favor was him for Roman Reigns to be there Friday night, but no. I'm glad they actually put that out in the air now to know that that's going to come into play, and to see if that comes to play for WrestleMania, is going to be a very interesting concept itself. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes in its entirety. But with the fact that they do have all of these weeks left, and it's these three guys, and these guys know how to, build a story and keep things going along. I think this is going to be a really interesting ride, at least for them, with all of these weeks left until WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure. Uh let's go to SmackDown real quick, man. Matter of fact, let's talk about the Cena shit.
All right, let's go ahead and I mean, since yesterday I had a chance to sit down and look at a couple things and
Uh,
process. So as a fan,
mhm.
I still am like you, and it just sounds like a bunch of complaining over a bunch of years. It sounds like a tired employee.
He sounds like a toxic bitch. He sounds like a narcissistic bitch that didn't get her way. All right, in this relationship that Cena was talking about, this toxic relation, he was the bitch. He was the female in this. He was the one that got
I think
everything.
I would say now I do. So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the way that he sounds, it's you're the problem, stuff like that. I would say he was a female too.
Cena was the housewife that got everything, was doing like even when you was a fucking worthless piece of shit that you wasn't trying to fuck, suck dick, or even fucking do anything, even contribute. We gave you everything. And yo, you know what? Just so we didn't have to pay for the divorce, you took that shit. So the
So
toxic relationship wasn't that we wasn't satisfied. It was that you just took too much. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
I started sitting and thinking about this too, and I see those portions as well. And I was wondering, I sat there when I was hearing them talking. You know, sometimes you have that talk in which somebody gives you, and you can just start mouthing the words you know they're going to say.
yep, I know
For
exactly
half
what you
of
mean.
scene, for half of Cena's speech on Monday, that was me,
Yeah.
and it
You
was
know
like
what? I was happy that they opened up with the show with Cena, but the moment he started talking, it was like he
I can
didn't want to
predict
be there.
every word. Yeah, I can predict every word you're going to say because when it came down to looking at him on Monday, I can only think of me in the situation and how I was in life when it came down to that. I'm tired,
Yeah.
and
We
I
all
and started
tired.
looking at this and started looking at this. Did he look like the man in this? Did he look like the bitch in this, or things like that? In certain cases, for me, he looked like both.
Yeah.
He looked utterly confused, like he really didn't want to do this. But when it came down to it, he ain't got no choice to do this because no matter what I do, I can bring home all the money. I can bring home, all everything, and you ain't got to do a thing, and you're still gonna find a way in which to complain about me.
Yeah.
Kind of aspect when I started looking at Cena on Monday and looking at it, almost a week later, and how I've been looking at it online, and everybody saying, this might have been the best promo John Cena ever
No
did in
fucking
his
way.
entire
No
career,
fucking way.
and I'm sitting there like, I wouldn't say that this was his best. As far as an impact, sure. You're in the middle of, a place that WWE's never been before. You got the entire crowd, as loud as they were in French, screaming, fuck you, Cena.
Yeah.
I would say, as far as that aspect, no, that was pretty big. But as far as the words that was given, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do for the next month. And
Listen,
that's
I
that's kind of what
hope,
I was saying with my reaction on Monday, because this ain't it. In 4 more weeks of this ain't it.
but the thing is, bro, if you know an emotional, distraught bitch, you know that this only gets worse. So I hope that Cena starts turning up. Like he goes from being a bitter, uh, fucked up, abused the relationship and just want to go that route and just be a crybaby. And I hope he just turns into a monster. When I say a monster, I want him
I
to
would say
be.
if going with the woman aspect, from going from screaming to keying somebody's car or busting out somebody's window or something.
You go fuck a ball player or some shit and you get on and you do your thing and you go really stun on your ex. That's what I want him to do. I want him to be like, yo, this not only was the most unexpected best heel turn, because it is the best heel turn, but I hope his promos like The Rock every fucking week or every other week on Road to WrestleMania of last year was turning up. He gave you a little bit of cursing here. He gave you a little bit of rant on X. He went in and gave you a little bit of blood. He went over the time limit on Raw one time. He beat the shit out of Cody in the fucking rain, and he was just taking it to the next level. And if you want this WrestleMania to be more successful than last year, you got to turn up the Jets, my boy. That's all I'm saying.
And that's my aspect of talking about this time aspect, because usually between WrestleMania and the event you get what, a month, sometimes 5 weeks at the max.
Yeah.
And I mean, including all the stuff that they've done from Elimination Chamber on, you got almost 2 months of time in between this. So, I still think that it's a lot of time, and some people are suffering because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that this actual story between Cena and Cody Rhodes is not going to be one of them. But after looking at Monday, I think it might, but I'm always subjected to love to be proven wrong. So we'll just have to see how that one goes.
Yeah. Speaking of beating a Flair's reign, yo, bro, let me tell you what happened on SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, they had like
I saw that interview. I saw the interview.
Right? And they had the interview. If you watch that interview, you can see Charlotte Flair being a piece of shit in real life. Like,
yes.
Okay. So she was trying to have Tiffany Stratton trip up. She was talking over Tiffany. She wasn't letting Tiffany hit her punchlines.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that she was
looked like a real bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, she was really trying to like stumble her because she knows that she's the rookie and Charlotte's the vet. So Charlotte wasn't giving that rookie no type. Like Tiffany looked like she didn't know what the fuck to say, what the fuck to do. I kept telling, like, I was watching it and I'm like, why is she talking over her? Like, she's the champ. You're trying to sell this match, and Charlotte is just trying to look like she got one up over Tiffany.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, bro.
I don't like it either. Remember the whole thing with John Cena and Roman Reigns?
What you talking about?
The little thing where Roman Reigns flubbed up in front of John Cena. And
yes. It's a promo, kid. You got to learn how to.
I was saying, and I looked at that, and I looked at that Friday as that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you can look at Charlotte Flair in real life and look like she's like that.
Yeah, but you know what? In that situation, Cena,
and I agree.
Roman froze up at that time.
Yeah,
and it was a right there and then. Like Charlotte was cutting Shorty
off in the middle of a live
to
interview,
throw her
kind
off
of thing.
her. Yeah, like to throw her off her game, and I'm just like, she's a fucking bitch for that, bro.
So, do you think, with the aspecting of all of this, because I'm with you, Tiffany's winning the match anyway, that if she overcomes all of this and still beats the queen, that'll raise her stock?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Tiffany was like, I'm not going to lie, since she's won the title, she's been watered down. But before she won that title and she had the briefcase with Nia, Tiffany's stock was up there. Tiffany's stock was up there since last year when, like I wanted her to win the women's Money in the Bank last year. But I feel like her stock is going to rise either way. I mean, her going against her hero and for her to beat her, and Tiffany, she looks good. She wrestles good. She's entertaining. I love her promos when she gets to get them out.
Yeah.
So I think her stock definitely rises after WrestleMania. I think she's going to be a Hall of Fame contender, and this is where her legacy gets stitched out for real.
I got Tiffany winning. I got Tiffany winning that too. So
yeah.
This Randy Orton Kevin Owens thing, or I absolutely love that Randy brought back the Viper.
This
I'm down. I'm down with, I'm just gonna be the Viper and just kick your head off.
I feel like this is like gonna be like Triple H versus Cactus Jack. That one
Mhm,
match where it was just like Randy Orton looks like he ate the old Randy Orton. And
mhm.
yo, like I didn't know. I don't know if you seen him in that match with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it just doesn't look normal. Like Randy doesn't look normal.
he's
Randy is the
290 pounds. I was
bro,
like, damn.
bro. He was like 2 fucking 30 like before, and yeah, bro,
Yeah.
huge. But Kevin Owens, like he's turned up that hardcore deathmatch king type shit. He's
Hmm.
definitely turned that up. He's made it very interesting, and like my wife is excited to see this match. Like
So
I think this is the match that I'm most excited to see in the
I would
whole
say, well,
WrestleMania.
usually when it comes down to WrestleMania weekend, like I the weekend's nice, the main events are good, but there are those matches in which you look for. Like when
Yep.
Stone Cold and Kevin Owens fought at WrestleMania 38, that's the match I looked forward to the most.
Right.
And for me this year, this match is going to be that. My question to you is, do you think this match comes with a stipulation?
Yes,
No
for
holds
sure. For
barred.
sure. For
Uh,
sure. For sure.
because
This is gonna be like a ambulance or
I forgot that they fought last year at WrestleMania.
yeah, this is gonna be like a death match for sure. For sure. Like it's got too much stank behind it not to have it. Kevin has been giving us his body, and we greatly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Randy got something to prove because this is gonna further him and shoot
Mm-hmm.
him toward the Cody story. So that shoots him into that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a stipulation, and it could only be something where it's like career ending at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got Randy winning that, but Kevin Owens giving a fucking crazy,
I
crazy performance.
I would agree, because they're still talking about this Sammy aspect about him not being at WrestleMania. So that is something within the back pocket, I guess, when it comes down to that match as well, since it seems like that was unresolved when they had the match at the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes.
Real quick, bro. Because they got the US title up, with Jacob and Braun and all of that, right?
Oh my
But
God. Yeah.
but real quick, Dominic Mysterio grabbed the Intercontinental title the other
I
day.
saw that on Monday, and I guess we need to probably sit and talk about that now.
It's maybe not now. But let me tell you something. When he grabbed that title, it was like the music came
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I got Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental title very soon, but this US title, got to go on a Uso, bro. Either Jimmy or Jacob is gotta go on one of these Usos, bro.
Okay, so with this match, with all Intercontinental and US title, to me both are going through the same thing. Like, who is ultimately going to be wrestling at WrestleMania for each of these damn things?
I feel like they're building up a fatal five-way with the US title. It's gonna be Jimmy, Jacob, Braun, LA Knight, Nakamura.
I can see that.
Yeah, maybe in a ladder match or some shit. That'll be fire.
You
Oh
might
my
say,
god.
actually, you know
Oh my.
what? I would say you're an old school wrestling fan like me. You remember those old school WrestleMania 26-man ladder matches for the Intercontinental title?
Bro, I just want to see what Jacob could do with a ladder.
I I at this point want to see what Jacob can do completely, utterly on his own with nobody behind his back.
Oh, he's
Because
doing it.
I thought he was gonna win this damn match on
I'm out.
Friday.
Let's get it. Yada me. Jacob is
Yes.
doing his fucking thing. He don't need the Tongas. He doesn't need
No. He
Solo.
doesn't
And
need.
he
I
made
don't
it
think he needs a
very clear,
bloodline.
Oos, and he called him Oos. He made
Yeah.
sure to call him Oos. So is Jacob turning face already?
Maybe. I mean, it would be an interesting concept right now in the midst of him being this good ass heel.
He's so
And that
good.
would be a
Is
good
he a
change for
heel?
business.
Is he a
I
heel? Like
would know.
Jacob? Jake?
I don't call Jacob neither a face or a heel.
Yeah, he's like Wolverine, bro.
Yeah.
He's like an
I'm just gonna
anti-hero.
it's yada I mean, I'm gonna beat your ass and then I'm just gonna go and do my thing, but I don't have to be considered a hero or villain. He's like Austin to me. Because even when Austin was a bad guy, I didn't really consider him a bad guy.
I think all right, so Jacob is, I don't want to say an anti-hero like Austin.
I
Because
wouldn't call him a
he
no
he's
anti-hero at all.
he's very much a heel. He's very much a heel, but he's one of those heels where it's like the Austin effect, where it's like he's a heel,
But I
but
like you because you are.
this
I like you because
motherfucker's
you are. Yeah.
too good. He's too good, bro. Like he could be a bad guy, but he's just gonna be a bad guy we love. There's nothing you can do around it. I don't want them to water Jacob down because I met Jacob in person. Like he's a really good dude. The dude pulled me and my wife out of the car to come take a picture and talk with him. Like
Nice.
the dude is like that. Like he's very nice. So I feel like if they make him a baby face, they're gonna show that side of him. And I don't want the werewolf to become a little puppy.
So I'd just say, and so I would no. I mean, this is just booking me. But even if they did the babyface turn, I wouldn't change him at all. I would keep him as vicious and as crazy as he can, and just get to the point where let's say like a biker Undertaker,
Okay.
or we'll say pre main event Austin, where I'm just going to go down here and be myself and go down there and beat you, but I can still throw my hands up to the crowd and let them cheer and everything. But I can still go out there and kick some ass. I'm all for that if they want to try that with the Jacob Fatu. But not trying to do like this whole, like Cody is the WWE right now, and he's going to be a baby face for a very long time before we are having these conversations about him years and years down the road. And just let Jacob Fatu be like a Randy Orton and just go out there and be vicious and be great.
I was just gonna say this. Jacob Fatu, he has shades of history in him, like where you can see he's like an Austin and like this and like that, and how they could push him in this way and that way. But Jacob got his own lane. See, when they wanted to do this shit with LA Knight, it was cool, but until he got exposed, it was like, it's almost like a Jey Uso thing with dude. Like you was a great mid card,
yeah,
but they not really playing the right. Anyways, Jacob is a fucking star. When I met him, I told him, "You're a star. I love you. You was the man when you was in LMW. You was the man when you was out there and doing your shit, bro, on the independence. You was you still are the man. He's in great shape. He is the fucking man." But
I would say Jacob Fatu to me is a future world champion.
Absolutely. But what we gotta talk about right now, bro, and we're gonna end this one off with this one, is Drew McIntyre, I think, is slept on way too much.
I would say, you know what? Watching the Drew McIntyre segment on SmackDown Friday, maybe go back to our very first podcast, so that I made sure that I said these words officially. Drew McIntyre, remembering the monster in which he was, will start to make him great again. And seeing him go out there and decimate Damian Priest week after week only confirms those words. And
See
the
the
fact that Drew McIntyre is going out here and, I mean, I'm tired of hearing you did all this to me, and over the last year, you ruined every major moment of what my career has been.
Yep.
Is still annoying. But seeing him go out there and be the Scottish psychopath and just beating a man down just to beat a man down, to me, for Drew McIntyre is refreshing for me.
Right. So here's the thing with Drew. This is why I say he's the most slept on, underrated, everything. Like his overall on WWE 2K25 should be at least a 92. At least a
What
92.
is it?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm probably like an 87 or some shit. But like this is what I'm seeing with Drew. Drew held it down during the pandemic. Like
Correct.
he held it the fuck down.
Correct.
His 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 eliminations with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble was fucking crazy. Like I knew something was gonna happen then.
Yeah.
Granted, he got fucked during the pandemic, but on his rise up, it has been so good. Not only did he hold it down on the pandemic, this man crushed it. He crushed CM Punk on the mic.
Yeah.
He has held the championship for literally 2 minutes and made this shit look good. He's the only nigga, and without a championship, that makes Damian Priest look like a real contender.
Yeah.
When Damian Priest and Gunther was going at it, and remember, I love Gunther. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
doing like Damian wasn't selling it enough. Like he wasn't that guy with Gunther. He wasn't
Correct.
that guy with nobody else. Like anytime he was going against somebody else, I was just like, "Yo, bro, I see it, but just not yet." Like
Mm-hmm.
I like how it looks on you and everything, but just not yet. But now, when this little feud that he got with Drew, Drew
Yeah.
will take somebody and he hits people with these one-liners, bro. Like Drew got the best one-liners in the world, bro. The
I
C
agree.
Bro, the CM Punk rehab joint, the Sheamus burger after burger, the fucking bro, he has so many one-liners.
I
But
mean,
just
I'm looking at this in the aspect of, looking at Drew McIntyre, he's being Drew McIntyre. And I'm, like I said, I'm all for the monster of Drew McIntyre because that's how he came back. And when he came back like that, that just basically started to define him as the main eventer and world champion that he is. And looking at this aspect on the other side of Damian Priest, what that's going to be I think that's going to be a sleeper match at WrestleMania.
yes. Not only is it gonna be a
And that's a Sunday match to me.
yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. It's gonna be a Sunday match. Not only is it
And
gonna be a Sunday match,
if it's not a Sunday match, then they messed up.
if it's not a Sunday match, it's gonna boost Drew. I feel like this is gonna boost Drew's stock. I feel like Drew's stock after this, after everything, it might be a slow creep, but after everything, I love what they're doing with Drew. Everybody must be thinking that um they're probably playing Drew. I believe that Drew McIntyre is the new age Bret Hart. He's the guy that got screwed
Yeah,
and that loves the
I can see
company.
it.
Yeah, and that really loves the company and that really is all for the company, and they just keep choosing the other guys because of they get paid more or they sell more merchandise. But Drew is an all-around great fucking wrestler. So I got
Mhm.
Drew winning for the next year, bro. Drew's got to win everything for the next year because this title run, this run that he got for the title, like the chase that he's gonna be on, is going to be he's going to raise hell for everybody. CM Punk, Seth Rollins. It starts
Yeah.
with Damian. But yeah, man, Drew McIntyre, everybody better be on the lookout.
Yeah, and so one last thing before we go. I just saw this, no, just last night, and just
Mhm.
wanted to give a personal congratulations on this, but I don't know if you've seen it or not. but it shows that Mark Henry just signed a Legends contract with the WWE. So I just want to
Let's
give a nice
go.
congratulations on that one
Congratulations
too.
to the world's strongest man, brother.
Yeah, congratulations, Mark Henry, on that. So no, I saw that last night. I was like, man, congratulations
He
for a
deserves it, man.
career
I
of
mean, I
long
wouldn't
work
have
to
gave it
get
to
that.
him. Honestly, I wouldn't have gave it to him so fast because he just left AEW. But hey, whatever.
Yeah,
Speaking on congratulations, I just remembered, man, on the top of the hour, we have hit 1,000 subscribers.
yes. Thank you to everybody
Oh!
that has subscribed over the past few weeks and everything to help us at least reach this milestone, and hopefully we can get everything together and build a product in which everybody can sit down and enjoy and have something in which they can partake and be entertained by. So no, thank you very much everybody for your support, and hopefully we can provide what you need so that you know
So we can get 100,000 more, man. And shouts out to our sponsors, man. Yatu Sabe
Yachi
Creations.
celebrations. Good job.
Shouts out
Thank
to
you
Shy
guys.
U, man. He got his brand out there too. We do coffee cups, shirts, sweaters, hoodies, hats, pens. We do everything.
Look
You
out.
need it.
I would say look out for the clothing line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. You need it. We got it, bro. We printed on anything, bro. Yatu Sabe Creations, Shy U, man. If you need them, holla at us, man. And you
Yeah.
already know me, Burrow Luch, man. Catch you on all platforms, not for the week, everything, man. And Shy, tell them where they can find you at, man.
Shayu on TikTok, Shayu Original on Instagram. You can find me at Shayu on Facebook or just underneath my name, Sean McGee. So, nah, thanks everybody for the support, man. Just
Yep.
really appreciate it.
It is. And we're going to catch you next week, guys, on more. We out of here.
Later.